Hey, Charles, Success Freak, and I'm living out loud. And I have not done a video in a few days. It's just recuperating from the concert, fixing my hair while I'm trying to do things, that kind of thing. Uh, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of different things, running through some honestly, you could call it miraculous information financially. Or you could just say, hey, pay attention to the details. We really kind of skate through life not knowing exactly where our money's going. And I'm actually going to be teaching at Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University at the church I attend, starting at the end of next month. So you may hear some more insights on managing money as I get refreshed. It's been about 8 years since I went through that. But I'm not here to talk about Dave Ramsey or that class, but I am talking about one of the core principles he teaches that really drove home with me was knowing where your money's going, knowing how it's coming in, how it's going out. And that helped my wife and I build a budget, and that was great, and it changed my life, blah, 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 blah. But what I didn't realize is how much we would just skate by going, I'm getting this check for this amount of money every 2 weeks. We know we're going to make this amount, and then it's a little up, a little down. Sometimes I get overtime, woohoo! Or, holidays come, extra pay, yay! I'm not more than what I got to say. So, we skate by going, we know roughly where our paycheck's going to be, so we have to work extra to do all these extra things. And when it goes away, or the thought that it might go away, oh, what are we going to do? We got to cut. I mean, my wife and I used to have to cut budgets so hard. Well, I'd say budgets loosely. We start slashing things we paid for because we didn't know where our money went and where it came from. But I gotta say, sitting down and running the budget for what I think I need to live, to keep the same standard of life that I had before, came down to be not that much. I mean, what at first seemed like this huge hill to climb, like, oh, how am I ever going to replace this? I made this amount of money and blah, 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 blah. You know, my wife this week worked. I worked this past weekend, and just starting out, not really knowing what we're doing as far as making a life for ourselves without a paycheck. Going and getting the money where we can, speaking gigs, consulting. I do a lot of consulting, audio production. My wife does other things. Um, she's like a personal assistant for a few people. Doing these things, you just hear small numbers like, oh, that'll never work. And then, but when you put it on paper and you look at it, in our first week of really just working for ourselves, which was just keeping track of it this past week, we only came up $200 short of my normal week. I was like, what? That $200, we can make that. We can jump that gap. Holy crap, that's going to be a lot easier than we thought. And especially if I start getting, chunks of money. Like the one gig I did this weekend was a big chunk of money for 2 days because I ended up working like 30 hours out of 2 days out of 48. Well, actually a little more than that, but it's not what I call to talk about. What I'm saying is maybe break it down to the smallest number that you make and see how you manage that, because knowing really does change everything. And seeing how close we were without pushing hard, without going and knocking down doors just to get that first speaking gig, without really pushing everything I can push hard and everything she can push hard, and without cutting anything that we've already had, we only came up a little short. It's like, wow, well, let's double our efforts and see if we not only can meet that goal, but exceed it and live the life and live the dream and work for ourselves. It's an amazing thought. So I wanted to share that tonight with you. We are getting prepped, Morten and I, for the first ever Success Freaks home group. If you haven't heard about that, check out successfreaks.com. And it is exactly like it sounds. It's a home meeting, and it's not based on the show. It really is what our company does. It's discussion, open discussion, food for thought. We're going to give our 2 cents. It's almost like coaching, but we're not here to just help you. We're all here to help each other be awesome. Think of it like Weight Watchers meets church small groups, those kind of things, where we're going to talk about the things that we've talked about on the show, food for thought. What did you get out of it? Have some questions, and we're all going to discuss it openly. So it very much is like a book club. That's the word I was looking for, book club. So that's tonight. If you're in Minnesota, in the St. Paul area, you're probably too late by the time you see this video. But we're doing it every 2 weeks while we're in Minnesota, and that's going to carry on. We're going to start them in different places in the country. So check out SuccessFreaks.com for that and for the show that I do every week, Success Freaks. It's pretty awesome, if I must say so. So this is Charles, Living Out Loud. Thanks for watching.